Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday Youth Online. As you know, we've spent the last couple of weeks talking about certain types of prayer called petition and intercession prayer, basically where we just come before God and we say, God, this is something I want to see change. And we're going to spend the next couple of weeks looking at conversational prayer, how we have conversations with God. It is still to this day one of the most miraculous things I think about our faith is that we can have just forwards and backwards conversation with God in all his majesty and all his might. And it is something that we see a lot of in the Bible. And it's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I just wanted to tell you a quick story about this happening in my life this week, just to kind of put it in a framework for you guys to understand. So I was going upstairs to have my quiet time the other morning. Normally, roughly what my quiet time with God looks like is I will sit down with the Bible, I will read a bit of the Psalms or the New Testament or Isaiah I'm reading at the minute, and then I will journal around that, see what God's saying, and then I'll spend some time praying. I think I've said to some of you, I've got there's 6 different ways that I could pray and I roll the dice to see which one I'm going to do. So that's normally how I kind of approach it. But as I was going up the stairs, I had some worship music playing on my phone. Judah and I had been listening to it. And I just felt God say, just listen to worship in this half hour. And it wasn't a booming voice, it was in my head. It was a really sort of the classic, like the still small voice. It was a very small thing. But I thought, okay, I feel like that came from nowhere. It feels like it's what God's saying. So I just kept worship music on. And I lay down on the floor, put a couple of pillows underneath me and was like, right, God, you've called me to this, so I'm just going to sit here and listen to this music, and put on a bit of Stephanie Gretzinger, who's one of my faves, and was just listening and praying about a few different things as I kind of felt God leading me, as I kind of felt my mind going towards them. And then about halfway through, a song came on, and I just felt God say, share this with an old friend. She just popped into my head. I haven't spoken to her in years. I knew her from university, and he was just like, just share this song with her. And so I went on Instagram and I just DM'd her and was just like, she's a Christian, so she kind of had a framework for what I was saying, and I was just like, do you know what, I was listening to this, I felt God saying now's the time to share it and with you. So if I'm wrong, it's just a nice song, and if I'm right, I hope it really encourages you or speaks to you. And she replied just saying that it was just the perfect timing. She'd lost her gran the previous week. She is expecting a baby. They're trying to move house. She had loads going on, and she was like, it was just the quiet encouragement that I needed from God, to know that he's there and he's listening. I also, as I was lying there, was just looking at, there's a map of the world on the wall, and just felt God saying, just start praying for the persecuted church. And so I went on Open Doors website and got their list of the 50 hardest countries. It is the 50 countries it's hardest to be a Christian in, and just started praying for those. And the point I want to get across to you guys is that none of these were huge thunderbolt moments. They were just me hearing God's voice and just saying, okay, God, I'll do what I think you're saying. When he said about sharing that song, I was like, am I hearing you right? Is it for this person? I just felt like him saying yes. It was small, it was quiet, it was a conversation. We can see this like we have a conversation with other people, just a back and forth of ideas and of sharing and listening. And I just let God lead my half an hour of quiet time with him, conversationally, asking questions about what he was saying, but also listening and going ahead with it. So that's the framework of what we're talking about when we talk about conversation as prayer. So we're going to talk about it tonight, and we're going to ask the question, how do you actually do this? Because we can talk till the cows come home about this kind of stuff, but unless practically we know how to do it, then what use is it? So we're going to talk about that. It is something we learn over time, but we want you guys to start learning it now, or to get better at it if you're already doing it a bit, because that is what discipleship is. It's about learning more and more about how you engage with God, how you speak to him, and how you let him guide your life. So hope you have an amazing evening, and I will see you soon.